What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Dolphin Chronicles presented by the Kendall Sports Network. I am Johnny Cruz. I am the Yankee fan, and of course, I am here with my two fellow amigos, fellow Dolphin fanatics, Byron and Alex. Gentlemen, how is your evening going? How is your this fabulous Monday going for you? And how was the weekend?
I always go first. Byron, why don't you just go first this time?
I enjoyed the Florida State Seminoles. I was able to be in attendance for the Dolphins game on Friday, and then my weekend turned for the worse. Did not leave my house all weekend long, and coming home from the Dolphins game, my back window was open, and it rained all weekend long. So my truck has a leak in the back, and it's probably going to stink like straight.
I was just about to say, I'm sure it smells wonderful in there.
Well, remember, all weekend long the window was open, so
Right.
But
So it rained, it dried up in the hot ass heat, and just
that Central Florida heat. It's beautiful. Gotta love it. One of the perks of living in where Byron resides.
So your car is smelling just as bad as the Florida State fans are feeling.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Awesome.
Alex, how about you, bro? How was your weekend going, and how did you enjoy that that wonderful game and effort by Georgia Tech?
Oh man, guys, I was kind of going back and forth between the office and the living room to watch the game because I was working on Saturday, but I wanted to tune in week 0. Football on TV is a big deal around here, so I was excited just to have any football. I even tuned in to watch freaking SMU and Nevada. Okay, but no, I was thrilled with the Yellow Jackets and their performance in Dublin, Ireland, and DJ Ungalale, whatever the hell his name is. Check down Charlie. What is he averaging, like negative -0.01 air yards per attempt or something? It's a crazy stat. Go look it up. It's real.
Yeah, it was negative something. Yeah, during the game.
Wow.
And the Noles, man, they were mad. They were angry. They were going to go into Ireland and show them what was up, why they got snubbed. But like I told Byron, man, those guys that thought they should have made the college football playoff are the same people that think Angel Reese should win the Rookie of the Year in the WNBA. So
God, don't even get me started on that one. There, I've spoken about that one a lot on the LTS show. But now I'm with you guys. You were saying it was nice to see Georgia Tech pull out that win and give Florida State a nice big fat L to start off.
I mean, we can't talk shit. We lost to Georgia Tech too, but I mean,
yeah, I know, but I don't know why you're bringing up old stuff. But you say we talk about the 2024 season, and it doesn't get any better than FSU getting a loss. We have the Hurricanes have their own big game coming up this weekend at the Swamp. But this is a Dolphin show, so let's get back to the Dolphins. Byron mentioned the game on Friday. Good shit, being able to be there to watch that nasty, horrific showing that we put out against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the preseason is over. We lost 24-14. There was a couple players that showed out a little bit, and then there was a lot of garbage also being played. A couple cuts happened already, and of course 4:00 tomorrow is the final cut down where we got to get down to the 53 mark. So we'll touch on all those different things. But to recap the game again, the Dolphins lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-14. That was a horrible first drive by our reserve defense, I should say, against Tampa Bay's number 1 offense, where they basically just pushed us around, went right down the field and scored with ease. So you never want to see that, even if it is your backups. You want to see some kind of resistance. And then it was just, kind of just ugly pretty much after that. Like I said, there were some bright spots, but overall, was there anything that stuck out to you guys in that game?
Go ahead, Alex.
No, I mean, like you said, it's over. I mean, I thought we had some, breakout performances from some of the guys that we thought were going to show up. Like the Malik Washingtons. That guy continued to show, his playmaking ability. I mean, he showed some guts there, and some, he got whacked pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
And we saw our tight some more of our tight ends. What they're able to do in that tight end room. So that's I'm just happy that we didn't lose more people to injury. But the performance, I mean, we did have the resistance of a wet paper bag in that first drive, so it wasn't good to see that. But Tampa's got a decent offense, and Baker knows what he's doing over there. So that's a good test also for our backups and some of those guys that are going to make the team. That's a good test for him. So I was okay with that. They showed a little bit of fight, and ultimately we just didn't have enough offensive firepower to come back from that early deficit. So
yeah, and we've talked about these preseason games, as we've recapped all of them. The final score never really doesn't really matter to us. It's more about some good tape being put up by some of the guys, particularly the younger guys. Honestly, that's what I look at preseason. The older vet guys, you kind of just want to make sure that they're getting some snaps under their belt just to kind of get into form, but you want to see more of the younger guys. We do have some shots of the 2 touchdowns that we scored in that game there. You mentioned Malik with the showing out in different areas of the game. Jalen Wright, I think, was another one that kind of showed out a little bit. So 2 of our rookies made some plays, and but we do have the video of the 2 touchdowns for you as the super producer Byron gets those ready for you, so you can show you our two touchdowns. That was a nice touchdown pass by Skyler to the rookie Rucci, who I wish there was a way for him to possibly make this game, this team.
He might sneak in there. You don't know. Our boy Jason Carney is a big fan too.
For who?
I think he's thinking he might sneak in to that 53-man roster.
The only way I see it, I mean, we'll touch into it more, but that was one of the touchdowns there again. Skyler to the rookie tight end Rucci with a nice catch, nice throw and catch, and then the second touchdown is coming up.
Skylar Thompson keeps rolling, throwing, feet in.
There you go.
McGowan, touchdown, Miami.
Yep, nice play, nice rollout, nice throw on the move by Skylar Thompson. McGowan with a nice catch there for the touchdown. He did go on to drop a fairly easy pass later on, did McGowan. But there you go, the two touchdowns we scored were both by Skylar Thompson. And if you are a Dolphin, I'm sure you already know, Mike White has been cut. Along with who else was it that got cut today?
Today, I remember
Jody Fortson was the other one that got cut today. So those two added on to Savon Ahmed and Zeke
Fortson's
that got caught. Right. So it's a couple of cuts. You mentioned the Rucci kid at tight end. Again, we got rid of Fortson. So as of right now on the roster, we have Durham Smythe, we have Jonnu Smith, we have Julian Hill, who they are very high on. Tanner Connor, and then Tanner, of course the young man Rucci. So, what are your guys' thoughts on what Alex said? I mean, Byron, I guess I'll ask you. Rucci, Alex mentioned Rucci possibly making the squad. I think it's gonna be a little difficult for him depending what they do at other positions, if they're going to cut back on wide receiver or something like that to possibly fit this kid in. I don't see him making it personally, but I think he'll clear waivers so that we can put him on the practice squad. He looks like somebody that you can develop, and he may be able to turn into something because he's a fairly good blocker. He seems real aggressive with his blocking too, which I like. And he showed on that touchdown catch that he's got some decent hands and he can make some moves. So, Byron, what are your thoughts of the possibility of Rucci making the squad?
So there's only one way I see him making the squad, and I don't see it happening. And that would be if the Dolphins make a business decision and say, well, we like what we see in the kid. And if they think he is a cheaper version of Adek Ingle, Alec Ingold getting a pretty good contract last season. I think it was last season. If he's a cheaper version, then there you go. I don't see him making tight end. I think the 3 you mentioned are the 3 we keep. I would say if you cut Angle, then sign him would be the only way he stays on the roster.
Wow, Alec Ingold just caught a stray. I was not expecting you to go there. And I don't see that happening at all.
Right, that's the only way I see though.
This kid said Alec Ingold. Wasn't he a Pro Bowler this past season too?
Maybe. I don't know, but he's expensive for a fullback.
Right. Well, no, I hear you, but I mean, he does a lot of the dirty stuff, and he could actually make some plays. So, Alex, I know you mentioned
get cut. It's just the only way I see him making the roster.
Yeah, I hear you. Unless he's not gonna make it. It's just simple as that. He's not gonna make it. I mean, I know Jason. Alex mentioned Jason Sarn. He's a fan of his. I mean, I like what the kid showed, but there's no way you put him over any of the other 3 tight ends. And I'm not gonna let Alec Ingold go. Alex, your thoughts on the couple of cuts that already happened, including the one and only nephew of Walter White, Mr. Mike White, getting cut today.
Man, I mean, you saw that coming, right? He didn't really help himself in the preseason with his performances, right? So it was tough to justify keeping him on the roster, just based on the play that we saw out there. Yeah, he really didn't get to play much with some starters until game 3, but still, man, it's tough because I like the kid. A Miami guy, right? Played ball over here in Miami, I guess in high school, if I'm not mistaken. But he just didn't show enough. I'm sure he can fill a spot, somewhere in the league. The guy when asked to step in during the regular season, did a formidable job for the Jets. I know he had some crazy primetime game numbers when he was with the Jets. Was going in there throwing over 300 yards and shit. Just out of the blue, but he just didn't cut it, and he didn't play better than Skyler. So at the end of the day, I think the right decision was made in cutting Mike White.
Byron, what are your thoughts about the Dolphins' decision to get rid of Mike White, which they saved them $3.5 million?
Right.
Skyler is still under control for another couple of years as well. So what are your thoughts on the decision to have Skyler be 2 and to get rid of Mike White?
So, okay, couple of things. Number one, I don't think Mike White beat out Skyler Thompson. So there's no way of justifying the salary that he was making. But given the fact that the NFLPA vetoed the rule that was in place last season where you could keep your 3rd emergency quarterback on the practice squad and elevate him on game day on an unlimited basis, with the NFLPA basically, rejecting that rule, your 3rd emergency quarterback has to be on the 53. I don't think that Mike White was playing up to that contract, but I'm also not discarding the fact that he may come back on a minimum deal and be that 3rd quarterback. I don't think the Dolphins want to lose him, given everything that he's seen in terms of, play calling and play development. And if I'm not mistaken, Tua also said that during his press conference, he leans on Mike White a lot for a lot of his film study and preparation throughout the week. So with Skyler being the number 2, I can see him coming back on a minimum deal. That would be my thing. Okay,
that's an interesting one there. I don't know that they carry 3 quarterbacks with them. I don't know how he'll feel about coming back to be on the practice squad. I don't think anybody's going to pick him up. So I think he'll clear waivers. Especially for especially at $3.5 million, nobody's going to pick him up. So does he want to stick around as a practice squad quarterback?
No, he couldn't be on the practice squad. He'd have to be on the 53.
Then I don't think it's happening. I don't think they're going to carry 3 quarterbacks, bro. Personally, I don't think they are.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think this Dolphin team does. I just
because of Tua's injury history. Is that why?
I don't think you can not carry 3 quarterbacks.
Right. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I don't know if they are going to look around to see who else gets cut. Maybe they make some kind of a move for a veteran one.
Cuts on the offensive line that should intrigue Miami, considering what we've seen thus far. Obviously,
who would be a cut you've seen that intrigues you?
Well, there's a couple that our boy Ghost of Adam Gase posted. There's the Texans released offensive lineman Dieter E.12, and there's also a Lions guard that was
the center.
Yeah, because Brewer's hurt, and then we're missing. Wynn is going to start off the year on the PUP list.
Yeah, but Wynn wasn't a center.
Yeah, but no. This guy, hold on. Max Sharping is another one. What's that?
As long as we don't play Vita Vea, I think Jack Driscoll. Did you guys see that play?
Yeah, that was horrible. And I got to put some of the blame on our coach. Like, are you seriously thinking you're gonna run right up the middle against Vita Vea? You just don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the first person, or is it gonna be the last person that Vita Vea basically throws around like a rag doll? But it's
a different animal for sure.
Yeah. It's a little worrisome. I'm with you, Alex, as far as the offensive line.
Yeah, there's gotta be. You gotta think they do something to address interior linemen.
Right.
There's something there. That versatile center guard Brian Hudson that the Lions waived. That's a name that's been thrown out there. I mean, you hate to see a couple of the guys that are going to start the season on the PUP list, right? Cameron Good, Bradley Chubb, and Isaiah Wynn, right?
Right.
Yes.
OBJ may be one of those two to start on the PUP list.
Well, I mean, Mike McDaniel was asked about that today, and I guess they're still evaluating that.
Remember what I said about that shit, bro?
I know. I'm just saying. Part of me is like, if they were going to do it, they would have done it with the other three, and kind of just lumped them all together. So I'm going to hold out hope that maybe if he does miss a week or two, he just misses a week or two. But that's gonna be interesting to see over the next couple of days what they wind up doing with that. But like Alex mentioned, Isaiah Wynn, Cameron Good, Bradley Chubb, all on the PUP list, which means they cannot. They're going to miss the first 4 weeks. They're not eligible to come back until week 5, and then of course the Dolphins have a bye week on week 6. So there's a very good possibility that even though they take them off of the PUP, you won't see those guys come until after the bye week. So it would be coming back like week 7, which could be beneficial to some of these guys, give them a couple extra weeks to get back. But the thing that scares me about the Isaiah Wynn thing, and even though we pretty much knew it because, I mean, he's been MIA since he re-signed. Like, nobody's seen him. He hasn't practiced at all. From the looks of it, Liam Eichenberg is the backup center, so I guess he would be starting at center, and Driscoll or Cotton would be starting at right guard, which I would lean more towards. Right. Yeah, right guard. I would lean more towards Driscoll at right guard over Cotton. I just haven't seen anything from Cotton to justify him being in the lineup.
He's decently last season.
Yeah, but so far this season, I would trust the Driscoll kid to play right guard over him if it was up to me. Of course, it looks like Robert Jones is penciled in to be the starter at left guard, with of course Teron Armstead at left tackle. Alex mentioned Aaron Brewer is going to be out for a couple weeks, so I think it's going to be Liam Eichenberg there, and then of course Austin Jackson at right tackle. So the center right guard situation is going to be interesting over these next couple of days. But I'm with you, Alex. Yeah. I think we need some type of reinforcement on the offensive line. Definitely. We wound up with all the moves we made. We wound up with a decent amount of salary cap. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Then you save it another 3.5 by getting rid of Mike White. I'm sure
50.
Yeah, so I mean that's plenty of that $50 million plus we have 10 draft picks next year. I know them are later round picks or whatever, but there's ammunition there that if they wanted to make a move, to pick up some salary cap because they have to trade. If they could trade for a guy and they wind up having to pay him $7, $8, $9 million, it's not going to hurt them. They can afford to do it. So there's been a lot of talk about the guard from Pittsburgh, but I don't know, man. They just be hard headed and just destined to just go with what we have here. So it's worrying me a little bit there. Just a couple things to touch on as far as the last game. We mentioned Washington having a nice performance. He did it all over the field. After he got set up for murder by Mike White with the hit over the middle, saying he came back into the game, caught a nice pass, had a nice punt return, had a nice kick return, had a nice reverse or a sweep type play. So he showed his ability after the catch. My question to you guys is: has he supplanted Braxton Berrios as the number one returner?
Maybe.
I mean, I think it's worth a shot considering the unique wrinkle, right? The new kickoff. I think it's worth I think he's worth a look. It might still have Braxton back on punts and maybe Malik on kickoffs or something.
I think they'll give him the opportunity to win the job early in the season. With OBJ not being able to be on the field, I think Braxton Berrios becomes that third receiver. River Craycraft is out, so I think Braxton steps in, and giving Malik Washington the ability to do kickoffs and save Braxton's body, I think it allows the kid to get some touches and some improvement and keep him engaged in the game, saves Braxton's body a little bit, and allows his development without necessarily having to sacrifice snaps on the field, because I don't know how ready he is to be in this scheme just yet.
That's fair enough. I mean, the one thing I do give him over Braxton Berrios may be the safer person to put back there as far as his ball security, his hands and stuff like that. But like, there's no denying that Malik has like that explosiveness, that ability to make a big play where we never saw that at all last year from Braxton as far as returns. You know what I'm saying? Like, at no point in time did you say, "Oh, he might break that." Like that never happened.
We've had back there since Teddy Ginn.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's not a name that we're all fond of. But
great punt returner. I remember we picked him at like 9.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's all I think about. When you say Ted Ginn, that's all I think about is that draft.
For a touchdown against what was it, the Jets?
But we drafted him and his family apparently.
Right.
You know how much that cost us in count?
Yeah, I'm never gonna get over that. The fact that he was a ninth pick and there were so many good players on that board,
and
bro.
You can't knock that he was. He was a game breaker. He could, take one.
Sure. But yeah, no. So I get that, but I'm with Byron, bro. You say Ted Ginn, I think number 9th pick. What the hell is happening here? And I think Cameron and that's just like bad memories there. But I like the kid. I like his ability. I'm kind of with you, Byron, as far as his grasp of the offense for him to be that high on the pecking order as far as wide receivers. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Eric Ezukama. Schwartz is another one who wound up with an injury, so he's gone for the year. You know what I'm saying? So we're kind of limited. A position that we thought we were kind of deep at. It turns out that it's going to be a little tight. So my question for you is: I don't think they make a move for a wide receiver, but do you think there's a possibility that maybe we come out week 1 with more 2 tight end sets?
I think we make a phone call on John Mechie over there in Houston.
Why would Houston give up on Mechie?
Their wide receiver room is
a loaded room over there.
Yeah, there's a loaded room over there, but I don't know.
What's that going to cost?
He's kind of lost in the shuffle over there.
Yeah, but I'm not giving up a high asset for him, bro.
Yeah,
and then this is a completely different system than what they were running over there.
I'm just saying, I think it's worth a phone call.
Listen, remember, this offense is predicated on you being at the right spot at the right time, because it's all about timing. It's all about accuracy. if we're talking about Malik Washington not getting snaps because he may not have the grasp of the offense, and he's been here since camp, you want John Mechie to come over and what? Be right where he needs to be? I mean, that's asking a lot for anybody.
Yeah. I'm with you, Byron. I don't think they make a move, but do you think it's possible that we might see more 2 tight end sets, even if it's having Jonnu kind of out wide?
Is that why'd you bring in tight end? Why'd you bring in Jonnu Smith? Why are you quote unquote the last evolution of the offense?
Right.
If you're not going to take advantage of those assets when your wide receiver room might be thin.
Yeah.
Allow them to get healthy by using these 2 tight end sets, which at the end of the day is what me and you want, Johnny.
Yep.
Put out those 2 tight ends, have them along with the big uglies, and let's run the football. I mean, you have 3 ridiculous, stupid running backs in that room. Use them.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I mean, why not lean on the running game? If we're having issues with wide receiver, lean on that running game at, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, throw 2-3 tight ends out there and do some big packages like that. Because you're still going to have the threat of Tyreek. Like, they're still going to have to respect that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you got Tyreek and Waddle on the field. But
what does a good running attack establish?
Play action.
Play action.
Man. Play action, and then it's going to free up. It's going to free up a bunch of stuff. There's definitely a focus on the running game this season. I think that's been known, right? So we've been made aware of that. There's a big focus on the running game and sticking to it this season. Not just the running game, but sticking to it. I still think we're having some issues on 3rd and short. That's predominantly because of some injuries up front and just some inabilities and some kind of holes, to be very frank, up front. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think they do make a move and maybe pick up an offensive lineman, hopefully, an interior offensive lineman. And I do think they address that thin wide receiver room. They got to do something. I mean, Azukama has an injury history. Craycraft is starting the league on the starting the year on the IR. OBJ on the freaking pup with his stupid ass history. I'm already mad at him. I can't. I'm pissed.
OBJ is not one of the people that they mentioned, did they?
No.
But he's on the pup now.
No,
right?
Well, no. I mean, he's not on the pup where he's gonna have to miss the first 4 weeks. He's still on the original one that could be taken off at any time.
Right.
Yeah, he can come off at any time. So
okay, we'll see.
But no, I hear what you're saying. That's something that we're gonna have to keep our eyes on. Speaking of the running back trio that we have back there, 6.
That's 6 wide receivers though. Hill, Waddle, Barrios.
Right.
Malik.
Azukama.
And then Zukama. That's 6.
Right.
You're still 6 deep.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
Right. No, it's not bad, and I don't know that they keep more than 6 anyway. To be quite honest, you say right. So
there.
Yeah. But real quick to touch on the running backs, we saw Jalen Wright make some nice plays in this last game. He's got the speed, he's got the playmaking ability. It was nice to see him with the catches that he made, showing that he can be more of a threat in the passing game as well. But some of the stuff that I saw from him was his balance was incredible. You know what I'm saying? He broke some tackles. I think he's the one, Alex. Unless Chris Brooks is on this team, I think he's the one that you put in there on 3rd and short. I love Raheem Mostert, but like Jalen Wright is just as fast, but he's a bigger body. I think he's more inclined to be able to put his head down and go forward and get those tough yards if needed. That's just my opinion. I think they'll go with Jalen Wright because you're definitely not gonna go with Achane on 3rd and short. But I would take Jalen Wright over Raheem Mostert on those short yardage situations. What do you guys think about that? And his performance on Friday.
That's not a bad take at all. But then where does that leave Jeff Wilson, right? Is he making this team?
I think it depends on Chris Brooks' health. I think if Chris Brooks is healthy, I don't know, man. Like this is so tough, man. I do not envy them for having to try to figure this shit out. Because they probably think that they can sneak Chris Brooks onto the practice. You know what I'm saying? So do they keep Jeff Wilson in that case? And would you rather have Jeff Wilson or Jalen Wright on those short yardage situations? I would still go for Jalen Wright.
Yeah.
I'll give you
at least he's the type, if he can get past that first level on a short yardage situation, he's gone. Jeff Wilson may break through, but he'll get caught from behind. You know what I mean?
I'll give you the answer to the Jeff Wilson question. You ready? 4 carries, -1 yards. that good enough for you? That do it?
That is not the most favorable stat that you want to hear when you're trying to be the 4th running back on a team. Not only that, but I think he's making like close to $2 million too. And not to make it all about money, but right. But if you're gonna have your 3 running backs and then the 4th with Alec Ingold, like why not go with the kid? But I mean, Mike McDaniel has a history with Jeff Wilson, so I don't know, man. That's gonna be interesting to see. Tomorrow at 4:00 is really gonna be interesting to see who actually makes the squad, who doesn't, who clears waivers.
Making the team, Johnny.
I'm glad you mentioned that as we flip to the other side of the ball. Just to give him a little right now, Chop Robinson made some decent plays. A few different Channing Tindall probably had his best ever preseason game, which is sad to say considering this is his 3rd year. But Channing Tindall played well. The only thing that did worry me about Chop Robinson is that he couldn't set that edge, so he was getting run on a bit. But you mentioned Storm Duck. Isaiah Johnson is another one who I really like, especially at 6'3", 210 pounds. Like he's got a crazy arm span. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier on our text thread. If there will be any surprises, I think if one of those guys makes the team, I think it's Isaiah Johnson, and I think if he does make it, I think Nick Needham is gone. That'll be my surprise take right there.
I'm going to give you one. Storm Duck is a safety, yes?
He's a corner.
He's a corner.
Yeah. Isaiah Johnson has the size and the speed to play safety at 6'3", 210. Nick Needham has been playing both, corner and safety. He can also play in the slot. He's very versatile.
My surprise of the roster? I think Nick Needham stays as a safety. And I think Elijah Campbell gets cut.
Ooh,
wow, he's a special teams contributor.
I was about to say he's one of the best special teams. But I think that's why him and Saron Neal definitely make this team, is because of their special teams ability.
I think he's such a liability at safety, man.
I like McMorris better at safety than Elijah Campbell, to be quite honest. But it's just the special teams
games.
Yeah, he showed a little something. He wasn't a boot. He wasn't a boot last week. So I mean, I don't know if they're gonna try to be slick and stash him that way by kind of keeping him that on some type of IR or something.
So here's something I heard, which is why I'm giving you a surprise cut of Elijah Campbell. I heard that the team is trying to shy away from specialists, which is why Fortson got cut. Fortson's kind of just a red zone guy. Can't really do much else. So that's why he got cut.
Can't catch much either.
Right, but that's why I think Elijah Campbell, as great as he is in special teams, he doesn't give you anything on the field. You mentioned that in that first drive, Baker Mayfield was really, really good.
Yeah.
The throw that he made to the goal line, I'm sorry. I was there, saw it real time. And I saw 3 replays. Elijah Campbell got there and took the worst possible route to get there, and he gave up on the play. He made a business decision.
Damn! I didn't notice that, but I don't like to hear that at all.
Look at the. I don't know if you may have to,
especially when you're a fringe player. You know what I'm saying? Right. You're a special teams guy trying to make the squad.
Yeah,
you can't be making business decisions in the last preseason game. That's where you got to show out. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little discouraging to hear you say that.
And I noticed it on that play.
Yeah, if he has to take significant snaps at safety, that's a problem. Alex, any thoughts on the possibility of who would be your surprise if they got cut? You'd be like, oh.
Yeah, I think Nick Needham makes the team, so if he gets cut, that's a surprise to me. But you're right. As far as a specialist, Stuart Neal, I think he makes the squad. And I think Elijah Campbell makes it too, man. I really do. But I love what I saw out of McMorris. I think we all did in the preseason. I think he played really well. I think he deserves a shot. Might be a practice squad guy.
All right, so I guess we're saying at safety we like Javon Holland, Poyer, Marcus May would be the third one, and then the fourth one we're going to say Elijah Campbell strictly for special teams because, like I mentioned, Nick Needham has been taking reps at safety as well. I mean, even though he was part of that defense that let Tampa Bay just go right down the field on him. I don't know how well he'll do in any type of run support, and he's not the biggest hitter, Nick Needham, but he is very versatile, and that's something that Anthony Weaver likes in his defensive players. So, I mean, that could be what's saving Nick Needham, but if you want to hold on to one of these kids, I think it's going to have to be like a Nick Needham that winds up getting cut because, like I said, I think Elijah Campbell, Neal, they're really high on Ethan Bonner. So of course you got Jalen Ramsey, Kendall Fuller, Cater Kohou, Cam Smith, which whether you like him or not, or you're happy with the fact that he's forever pulling a muscle or something like that, but I think he makes the squad. Ethan Bonner is 5, and then it's like Nick Needham, Isaiah Johnson, Storm Duck. Like I think they keep at least 6 corners, if not 7. So I think they might be able to find a way to keep one of those young kids on the squad. I just don't know who. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Is Cam Smith's hamstring that bad that maybe they gotta kind of
that depth at corner, the lack of depth at corner has hurt us in the past. So
it has. So that's what I'm saying. I don't mind having extra corner. You can never have too many corners, man. Especially in this passing league the way it is now.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see there. And so Nick Needham will be the biggest surprise for you. I don't see any major cuts. I mean, I think we're pretty much set, honestly.
I think it comes down to versatility, man. Like how many of those guys are going to be able to play inside and out,
right?
Or how many of those guys can contribute in other packages, right? That's what it's going to boil down to.
Yeah, I'm completely with you on that. Like I said, Anthony Weaver likes versatility. That could be what saves Nick Needham because he could play in the slot. He could play outside. He's he's been practicing a little bit at safety. Cater can play in and out. Of course, Jalen Ramsey can play all over the field. So can Kendall Fuller. He can play all over the field too.
For a breakout season, man.
Cater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a much better season this year than he did last year under Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio was just asking him to do too many different things, but it's going to be interesting to see at linebacker. I don't see any surprises. They brought in Jordan Brooks, who I really like. Hopefully David Long Jr. He had a bit of a stinger or something with his hand. Hopefully he's straight.
I think he was day to day, right?
Yeah, I think he's day to day, so he should be good. Duke Riley is probably another one. Now Anthony Walker, who we got from Cleveland, hasn't really practiced at all. So I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe that's how Channing Tindall. Like I would be surprised if Channing Tindall is still on this squad. To be quite honest, you know what I'm saying? Because if it's either Channing Tindall or one of those high potential, high upside corners, I'm gonna keep one of those corners, bro. I mean Channing Tindall. I mean you feel bad for the kid, but at the same time he's been given opportunity, and yeah, he's made some plays this spring, this preseason, But do you trust him to do any type of coverage or anything like that? I mean, if they have a special packages for him to blitz, then yeah, I think he can make some plays. But are you going to keep him on the roster? I mean, he does contribute to special teams, so that will help him. But tomorrow at 4:00 is going to be hella interesting, man. So Dolphin fans, make sure you're ready for all that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, smash the like, turn your notifications.
An instant reaction to the cuts.
Yeah, because we may be doing we may be throwing some videos at Byron when we get our reaction to the cuts so that he can throw it on there. So look for all the upcoming videos on Instagram. And Twitter. We're also going to have reactions after every game this year. So I'll be on the lookout for that. Like I said, Byron's going to be putting some stuff together. We'll be reacting and sending it to Byron, and then Byron to make it look good, and then put it up on the gram or on Twitter. So you can check that out.
We do have an update for a special guest, right? So we are linking up with Kyle Ulbrich, the young man out of Middle Tennessee State, still looking for a job as a punter in the league. Wishing him success and hoping he lands somewhere. We'll have him on our show. He did reach out to us today and said that all he's been doing is kicking and lifting. So the guy is preparing. So we'll have him on the show. We'll do a special edition, and then we'll air it for you guys to enjoy that. We'll update you via X when that will be, but that will be here within the next week.
I want to show, and Johnny, forgive me I know we're kind of wrapping up here, but I have here the play that I'm talking about with Elijah Campbell.
My man ain't messing around. He's got videotape.
Yeah. I'm gonna try here to get this.
Go for it, bro. Go for it.
Let me see here.
He's got receipts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so this is the play before, and then here comes that play that I was talking about. I know it's a little dark, and I apologize for that.
This is on that first drive, right?
Look at this. Yeah. What is that? What is that? You can't tell me that he wasn't there on time. So that's clear to the play before. But
yeah, I mean, he actually could have made a play on the ball.
But that's what I'm saying. So my thing
looks like a miscommunication between him.
Look at this.
Yeah, but he's there though, Alex. Like right there, just light him up. Light him up.
Light him up or pick the ball off. One of the two.
For the ball. Yeah. See, he doesn't have the instincts, but that's what I'm saying. If he has to take a lot of snaps at safety, then something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because every time he came in over the last couple of years, he got picked on. Like they were immediately attacked.
I do remember that play now that you played, because I did see that first drive and I was like, my God, yeah, he could have done something there. It looked like at the end there was a little bit of a miscommunication, but still, you gotta be a ball hawk there and take
or control. At the very least, light him up, make sure, hit him and make sure he doesn't catch that ball.
If you light him up, you're leading with the helmet and you're hitting a defenseless player.
Well, I mean, if you do it,
football player, hit him with your shoulder.
Right, I was about to say, if you got there early enough, he could have made a play. Like I said, as far as the safety, that would worry me. Like I said, if he winds up taking too many snaps,
in position there,
but he's in position to make a play. You got to make a play, bro. So you can't be thinking about business.
The play I saw, me hearing that they're trying to shy away from specialists, that correlation, and Alex saying, "Listen, we might need another corner. We're good with Nick Needham being the safety." And maybe a guy like Storm Duck or McMorris making the team. Yeah. You see where, especially since he got a new contract as well. Hey, it might be worth giving these young kids a chance. That's why I told you my surprise cut was going to be Campbell.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense, especially after watching that evidence there of just a bad play. You know what I'm saying? You got to make that play, bro. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. Again, if you're new, hit the subscribe, smash that like, definitely turn on your notifications. Like Alex mentioned, we're going to have the young man, Kyle Ulbrich. We need to let him know that he needs to practice his holding for field goals. Because apparently that's how Jake Bailey has kept his job, because my man cannot punt for shit. So hopefully Kyle is working on his holding for field goals. We'll let him know. We'll give him the inside scoop on his way to get an opportunity. But that's something that I'm worried about too, is the punter. I mean, again, if that's one of your biggest worries, and that's not too bad. But it is still something that can cost you. You know what I'm saying? A bad punt in a key situation late in the fourth quarter where we're trying to hold on to a lead, like that can come back to bite us. So hopefully it doesn't. But definitely be on the lookout for that. We're gonna have the young man on the show, so we'll talk to him about what made him come up with the idea to go sit out there, and hopefully the young man does get an opportunity to fulfill his dream and make it to the league, at least get an opportunity to try out for somebody. So it's going to be interesting to see that. we got one more. All right. So before we say goodnight to everybody, again, the super producer put a little something together, so we want to go ahead and throw on a video that my man made for you guys. So
all right, guys, we'll see y'all next week.
Yep. For Alex and Byron, I am Johnny. We are signing off. Here you go. Peace.